So welcome back everyone. I am at Jalalabad University. So I had the privilege to meet the sir and he was quite friendly. So he was ready for the interview. So I'm going to ask some questions related to education here, obviously about the country as well as how the city works out. And if he has some feedback for students, because a lot of students come from India,
Yes.
so he must be having good experience. So let's start the interview. So sir, can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Dr. Shavkat Astanov. I am Dean of Jalalabad International University.
Okay.
Yes, and in medical education, I am last 13 years and working with foreign citizens and I have enough experience in medical education with foreign citizens.
Okay.
Yes.
So first question I will start with you is what are the challenges students face when they come to this country, if I talk about, because we India and Kyrgyzstan have a different culture. So
Yes.
what sort of challenges they face when they come to this particular country?
No, it's what I want to say. In the beginning, for example, 15 years ago, when just was starting and the foreign citizens was coming to Jalalabad, it was a little bit difficult and different. Nowadays, during 15 years, local citizens, citizens of Kyrgyzstan, has adapted for this process, and foreign citizens from India, Bangladesh, and other countries also came, and now we have very good collaboration.
Okay.
And one more thing, for feeling students not in abroad, we're trying to organize everything, include mess. For example, we're providing 3 times Indian foods, and nowadays in city you can find so many restaurant, cafe, which is providing Indian foods. Then all festivals of India we're celebrating together with local staff, foreigner staff, faculty means, and students. So nowadays, I think students not feeling they're in abroad.
Okay.
Not much differences, and mostly we are teaching medicine, medical faculty. So most of the time they're using for education.
Okay.
But still, when we have free times, we're trying to organize for them festivals, sport games, include cricket. It's the most common game in India, and our students like it and playing. We organize everything for them. So it means they're not feeling anything.
Okay.
They're not feeling they somewhere outside in abroad.
Mm-hmm.
So in Jalalabad, they're not feeling this. This looks like India already.
Okay. So personally, like I've been to this particular city. This was the first time for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I really find the city fascinating. But one challenge I faced was like obviously the language barrier which I was facing. So I wanted to understand how the university is making sure that the students are coming. So the teacher has the they are able to communicate, because we are talking about medicine.
Yes.
So the communication has to happen in a proper sense. Otherwise, students won't be able to understand and they won't be able to operate. They won't be able to treat the patients. So this language issue, like how do you solve it?
Yeah, see, again, we'll be back for some history.
Yeah, sure.
15 years ago, there was a very less number of citizens of Jalalabad who speak in English.
Okay.
But nowadays, what's interesting thing, not only teachers of university include drivers, taxi, who is doing some business in bazaar, they also starting speaking in English. So nowadays, coming of foreigner citizens to Jalalabad city for studying, improving English levels in this city also. So it is well, because it's motivation not only for teachers of university, it's motivation for all citizens of Jalalabad. So many people interested in learning English, number one. And about our university, with official order of Minister of Education of Kyrgyz Republic, they're giving permission only if teachers have TOEFL certificates.
Okay.
Not less than B1.
Okay.
Then only a university can get a license for working and teaching for foreign citizens. Means before when we're taking to work any local faculty, we're checking their TOEFL certificates and levels of English, and of course they must have some certificates about teaching also.
Okay.
And one more thing, we're inviting foreign faculty from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, who helping to teaching in first and second year, but because we have students who have English problems, English language problems. For them, they're explaining more in Hindi, in Urdu, they have till this time when we will be speaking proper English.
Okay.
So year by year in university also, you see in TOEFL we have a talking club for teachers who want to improve this English. So we are also trying our best on our side.
Okay. Now, In India, if I talk about when you go to, like, when you come from abroad, especially doing your medicine education, we have a separate examination which is known as FMG. So that is a very difficult exam to clear. And if I talk about personally, I feel that that exam is compulsory because they want to test out if a student has studied in that particular university or he was just traveling or he was just a tourist there. So how the University of Jalalabad is making sure that the students are not just studying medicine here, but they're able to clear that examination, because ultimately if they're not able to clear that examination, in India they cannot practice.
Yeah. I have information about this, and see, when we're making our academic plan, topical plans and syllabuses of subjects, regularly we're talking with our colleagues from India, okay, for making this academic plan and final result. It will be possible to pass the FMG. It's number one. Number two, in our universities providing free classes of MCI. We're inviting base faculties from India, from 19 main subjects.
So they are coming directly from India? Directly
from India. The MCI teachers taking classes in fourth year and fifth year. And the results you can see in NEET, which percentage and how many students successfully pass FMJ exams, and last year it was 450 plus students from first attempt to pass FMG. It is showing results of our extra classes for FMG preparation. So I think in the Central Asia region, in Jalalabad, it's more experience they have for this one, because in the last 7 years it's going on, and we have very good results.
So I believe you mentioned these classes are free of cost. They don't have to pay anything.
No, it is including for the fee of university.
So that is included in that. Yes. So that is something which is good.
And one more thing, with collaboration of these institutions from India, we're getting some free apps for preparation of MCI classes, FMG exams. So it's also helping for students to prepare better than other university students of our region.
So now this question comes from the parents, especially who are sending their female, like girl child they're sending. So the major concern for them is obviously about the security part of it. That is something they want to know. Secondly, they want to understand if their daughter is going to come, someone is going to take care of it. So like how the university is prepared to answer those questions. First about the security, and in case if she needs help, let's forget about her friends, let's forget about her relatives, probably they are living in this country. Like what sort of an additional help the university provides?
So, together with education, of course, safety of students is number 2 point, and important point for university. And when we have time, we will show our buildings and our hostels. University have own 5 hostels, and they are of course working security. And the most important thing, they have separate hostels for girls and boys.
So separate.
Yes, separate hostels, and for girls now we're here for 800 girls in this place. We have now hostel, one more hostel for 500 girls, and they can stay only girls. And the workers of this hostels is only women. And mess, dispensary, and this laundry, everything inside of hostel. So it's making more comfortability and more safety, because no need to go to abroad. So maybe we see when it's entering, we have all shops. If you guys want to buy something at night, they can just order, or no need to go too far. It's also one point of safety. So
just walkable distance.
So for buying something, no need to go to outside. So they can just order from inside, and they can bring to hostel. And for girls hostel, we have 3 steps of security. One is in outside when it's entering, then it's between our education building, main building, and hostel. And inside of hostel, they are always 24/7. We have a woman who is doing coordination, everything inside. So safety is really important, and we're doing our best for this.
Now, one more question I have, like obviously Indians have different taste of food. And Kyrgyzstan, I believe, also has a different taste of food. Now, if I talk about my personally, so like I really love to explore different cuisines of different nations. But when we talk about a student, their major concern is that they want to study here. So if they have empty stomach, they won't be able to concentrate. So how the university is making sure that the food is available for them, and obviously it is at par with what they are expecting.
So just now I said, in every hostel we have canteen, mess, where they're cooking mostly veg and non-veg foods. And we doing feedback from students, and then we making menu which foods they want to eat
Okay.
for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner,
Mhm.
and every day 3 times fresh foods
Okay.
providing from our university.
Okay.
So there's no problem for finding any food. There's by food no problems. No? And
Okay.
again, we'll be back to history. 15 years ago, if you visited to Bazaar,
Yeah.
if you didn't find anything, nowadays what's available in India Bazaar is available in Jalabad Bazaar also, because regularly I see how students doing shopping for some spicy or something. It's similar, price is the same. So it means if a student don't want it here and if you want to make it himself, everything is available. It's the wage or non-wage is not important. So it means here with food, we don't have any problems.
Okay. And sometimes what happens, students feel homesickness. They're feeling lonely, they're missing their mother, they're missing their father, probably something like that. So how universities support them in that situation? Because that is something which we cannot compromise on, obviously, and that is something which we cannot replicate. Like, you cannot have different mother who can come and say, "Oh, I love you, my child." So, like, how universities helping them?
So we're trying to organize so many different programs.
Okay.
No, it is not only festivals, it is sport section, and the Olympiad, research, other things. And nowadays, see, technological time.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to talk with your relatives or parents, you can call 10 times per day, video call, and you can talk. And of course, there's vacation. We try to give enough vacation when they're going to this own country and home. And we have here club where we have some, if students have some stressful conditions, I think, they can come and talk with teachers for solving this issue. And regularly doing feedback. And our council of student council, so one of the best team who is helping to our students. So making more interesting staying in Kyrgyzstan and this university. And of course, we also have children. Of course, they will be missing, and it's like joking when students will start and they're missing parents, and I'm saying, welcome to adults life.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we can do from our side, organizing these meetings, programs, festivals, for use this time more interesting, we're doing from our side. And we have some trips, and we see actually it's local stuff. More young teachers also there, they're playing with them, and where they have free times organizing clinical skill classes. And more important thing here, in our university, we started clinical skill classes from first year.
Okay.
It is, I think in Kyrgyzstan it's first time in this region, in Russia it's not practicing, and was thinking students cannot handle this, but after 2 months, every week one class, we see it's giving really good results.
Okay.
So we'll be continuing this experience.
Okay. So one more thing, like if I talk about the extracurricular activities, so like you mentioned the sports is there, the different sightseeing options are there. What other things are available for students? Because if I'm coming to this country to study medicine, I don't just want to become a doctor. I probably want to learn new skills also. Technology is moving faster as well. AI is also coming. So like, how can I use AI in the medicine field so that I can probably grow my career as a doctor as well? So how university is taking care of the new things, new dynamics which are shifting in the industry as well.
So see now this is really technological time, and for making more comfortable in hostels and in our main building and so, we have free Wi-Fi at high school.
Okay.
So anytime if you student want to do some research, or if you don't want to use, if they want to use this e-library or some research, they can easily open. And we have some program for doing research, for example. And about technology, maybe you see in classrooms, we have in all rooms touch this
smart class.
Yeah, smart class. And for teaching anatomy, we have 3D VR or visual anatomy, where we can use these new technologies. And we already start one project for making VR a virtual library, a virtual laboratory, and VR patients. And now I'm collaborating with a Russian company for making this app. So it means university going together with new technologies.
Okay.
Because regularly we're searching news, and we're talking with our colleagues from different countries. We have our colleagues who's very good collaboration from USA, from UK, and we have one former teacher who was working in UK and with his experience passing 2 steps of club exam. Now he's working with us and teaching rules how they can clear these club exams.
Okay, so you are additionally providing that training as well.
Of course.
Okay, so that means they can actually pursue medicine in UK as well.
Yeah, out of MCI classes, FMJ classes, there's special classes for preparation of UCDM and club exam.
Okay, so this is again complimentary, not charging anything to
No.
Okay, this is also complimentary.
Yeah, and we have teachers also who's preparing or they pass the first step of UCDM and they're preparing for second step, and they're teaching these rules and there's own experience for our students.
Okay, so someone who's already preparing for it and they have cleared the step 1, they are teaching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I have 3 local teachers, local faculty who clear step 1 of UCDM.
Okay.
And sharing and providing this experience how to prepare. Now in this summer I think they will go to give second step of UCDM. So there also we have good results.
Okay. Now let's talk about the country.
Yes.
So if I'm an Indian student, or maybe if I'm an Indian parent, if I'm going to lend to this country, what sort of a different cultural experiences I'll experience? What different things I'll observe in this country from your perspective, because you've been into India,
Yes.
and since you're a citizen here, I think you can answer better than anyone.
Yes, of course, yes. First of all, it's climate. I think climate is different. Here you can see all 4.
Yeah.
Means spring with flowers, summer very hot like India, and autumn time is more raining, and this is gold time because everything will be yellow and golden. And the winter, of course, is snowfall. So it means some regions of India they didn't see snowfall, and regular I see in winter time how they're enjoying snowfall. Yeah, I see how they're enjoying snowfall, but because when snowfall is there, we're giving permission for postponed classes for enjoying in this weather. So it means first of all, climate, I think. Next, it is of course it's different traditions.
Okay.
And for every person, it's interesting which traditions have other countries.
Yeah.
So making this a few weeks ago was one program in government of city, and they invite our students to join for this program, but because it was international program, and there was dance and singing, tradition dance and singers came from Uzbek culture, Kyrgyz culture, Russian culture, then Chinese, and there was enjoying and including our team also with Indian dance and so on. So it means nowadays, not only for Indian citizens, for Kyrgyz citizens, it's interesting how's culture of India. Of course, before we were watching from Soviet Union time, I would say I was watching so many movies, and of course in movie it's different, and when you see a real person, and I see in this time, when our students came to Sari, everyone come to take photo with them. They was enjoying 2 hours. It was only photo session was going on. So it means for our students also, for example, when we have local Kyrgyzstan festivals, we're providing local dresses, and explain cultural programs. And in the academic plan, we have history of Kyrgyzstan for 6 hours, and Kyrgyz language, Russian language. There also they're teaching about rules and about culture, what we can do, and of course something there may be not understandable for our students. Drinking horse milk, for example, it's tradition here.
Okay.
And some dances, which one's explaining history of Kyrgyzstan. Okay. So, and sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes our students cannot understand. Because maybe not also not testing horse milk, it's a little bit not this much sweet, we'll say.
Okay.
It's looking like how I can explain between spicy and milk, like this. So so many new things they can open for them about culture. And he see Kyrgyzstan was part of Russia. So many years ago.
Okay.
So we can show at the same time they can see culture of Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Uzbekistan, because it's nearby. And we can show tradition of this country also. So I think it's more interesting for the students.
Okay. So I'll come to the last question, which I believe is my personal responsibility as well. Like, one parent came to me and they said, my daughter cannot see blood. So the doctor friend of mine suggested you should not pursue medicine because it will be difficult for you because your profession will be like this. You have to deal with this. You understand your country well. So if a person is coming, what sort of traits if he is having currently, they should not think about either going for medicine or probably coming to Kyrgyzstan, because obviously if they're going to come and if they face any challenges, that sort of and they're not able to handle it, it would be better not to come in a country specifically, I'll say, because obviously otherwise it will be difficult for their parents as well to counsel the student. It will be a bit difficult for the student as well, because I'll give you an example. So like if a person cannot see blood, it will be difficult for them to actually treat the patients when the blood is coming out from somewhere. So what would you say?
Oh, it's a difficult question. I want to tell about my experience when I was 25 years ago, when I was in first year.
Okay.
When my teacher bring me for dead body department in my second week of when academic year was start. Then when I enter with smell and this dead body, other things, when I see, I was thinking I cannot eat during 2 months. Okay. Then when our work finished, we come out and he invited me to lunch. When I go to lunch, I forget everything.
Okay.
So means sometimes the person, before trying something, maybe they will feel it will be difficult and I cannot handle. But in reality, we know it from our experience, if some person can do, next person can do it.
Okay.
Just need to find some motivation and some power from inside.
Okay.
If you say, I cannot do, of course you will not do. Yeah. You cannot do. And mostly, my position, parents must to help for growing this child.
Okay.
So they not will choose who must be his child.
Yeah. Which
profession he must choose.
Yeah.
Because from inside the feeling, maybe something will be hobby, something will be real our job. So means need to give chance one time. Let's try, and slowly we can improve.
Okay.
And my position I have for children now. When my children saying, I like it this, I want this, I'm looking and giving chance to try. If they handle, if they show best, I'm just helping them to improve. Same situation about now. One time maybe yes, this child see blood and worry, of course, in first reaction, we are doctors, we know how which reactions will be, they know hormonal disbalance, and there will be also other things. We also have this experience in our life when we see first the real body, when we cut, when we see blood, we have some reactions, it's a normal condition. So it means if child said he cannot see blood, we can change mind. You need to explain it's just one part of our body. Yeah. Because here, so practicing now when we take into pathology department, when people students was talk, we're afraid it's something. Not afraid not with dead body, not afraid with real persons who can do some injuries for you. Dead body cannot do anything. So it means with correct way of explanation, we can change many things. It's my position. And always need to give the chance for children. And the real thing, if real, after some experience, if still child don't want this education, no need to pressing them. Because finally, in this 25 years of my experience like doctor, 15 years like teacher, I see who was not interested from beginning. Finally, after getting diploma, also do not continue. So it is solving time and some amount of time. If student after giving chance, if still this child not feeling, he want to become doctor, no need to press. Just need to ask. Maybe he can show his best in other way. So, like parent, like person who has experience, I can recommend it. Give chance, try, and see. Now maybe a young person who just started, maybe he still is not understand, but already have some success there. Means he still have chance for growing and improving. So for them, need to always tell and motivate it. And of course, from university and the teacher side, also they have been explaining. So I think still who afraid and cannot see blood, for them that's a negative chance.
Okay. So, any last piece of advice for parents who are thinking of sending their kids to Kyrgyzstan? Any last advice?
Oh, I don't want to reclaim for my university. First of all, I am a real person. It's not business, and we are helping who have real dream. Become to doctor in this country in future, and who have real bright future. We want to help them.
Okay.
If anyone want to come, see, we are ready to help.
Okay.
Yeah, in our university, we organize everything for good education, and we organize all facilities. If you have dreams, if you want to send your child, our doors open.
Okay.
Yeah, and we are taking responsibility. If you giving guarantee, we give good education, we will do it.
Okay.
So I am a real person, and I don't want to lie. This. Of course, where we have work, there will be problem.
Yeah.
But we're trying to solve these problems, issues together with parents, with students, and of course with administration of university and government of Kyrgyzstan. So we're doing our best for good education, high quality.
Okay.
This much.
Thank you.